Hey guys, what is going on? It is Nick from DesignsAcademy, and today I'm bringing you guys a tutorial on creating characters. Coming up with ideas, drawing them out, getting it going. Something a lot of people would like to do if they know how to draw is start to create little characters, something like this. This is one I came up with a couple minutes ago, or not a couple minutes, about an hour ago. I just sketched out a bunch of them. But I'm going to show you guys my process for doing stuff like that. Alright guys, so the first thing to remember when you're coming up with a new character or idea for a character is to keep it really small and simple and just draw your character in as many different forms as you can. So for this I like to use some sticky notes and a pencil and these paint pens. Just keeping it really simple. I'm not coloring it in or anything. Just, getting my ideas. Now, you don't need to use sticky notes. You could use a sketch pad, but I just like to use this to kind of confine myself and keep it to these little kind of profile things. You can see that. So, once you've got your supplies, your pretty limited supplies, these aren't really necessary. I just like to give it the kind of finished look-ish. But, once you have your supplies ready, you're going to want to start thinking, a great thing to look at when you want to come up with new characters is any like sticker art. There's people that will take like UPS like postage stickers and they'll draw little characters and stuff on them, and those are really great for inspirational, like, to give you some inspiration on characters that you want to start drawing. So once you've kind of picked out a style, like most people, like I use, that's not a very good idea, another example. I use these eyes a lot, one was squinted, one open, just stuff like that. You want to start thinking of things that you can kind of describe yourself as, and then just start sketching out. So I'll start with this, and those are the eyes for my character, so we'll get started with that. Now I have that. Now for this one I kind of came up with his head shape. Want to go really quick and just kind of get ideas down, and I change it each one of these drawings when I'm messing around with the character a little bit. I'll change it a lot. It's not bad to erase and start over on part, but you want to give your character some attributes that will kind of define it every time. No matter, I've drawn this guy in a lot of different styles here, and you know that it's him because of his kind of silhouette. He's got his body kind of goes up and then into a point, and he's wearing a backwards hat. So a couple of things, just like no matter if you change the eyes, like his eyes and his mouth and stuff in these three pictures are totally different, but you can still tell that it's him. So stuff to keep your character resembling themselves every time you draw them. So get in here and I'll draw his little hat. You want to have fun with it, kind of, seeing what you can come up with as a character. So now I've got kind of the base, his hat, his body shape. This would pretty much stay the same no matter how I drew him, and that's important for a character, is to have something that stays solid. So for example, this sort of quick sketch of his body and his hat, that always stays the same in all of these drawings that I've done of him. So now moving on, here's where you get to add some fun stuff. Whenever I come up with a new character, I like to draw them in as many ways as possible just to see what I could do with them, as you saw in some of the other pictures. So I go off of this base mode, or this base kind of model of him, and then I think of different things he could do. So for example, this one, his hat's pulled over his eyes and he's smiling. This one, he's eating popcorn. This one's a weird thorn coming out of his mouth. But you just want to think of, some sort of a face or something that he can do. So I'm just going to do my kind of normal squinted eye, and going with I've been kind of sketching it up until now, and now I'm going to start to come in with these darker lines. And I don't like to make my eyes perfect circles either. I think it gives it a little more character when they sort of have some edges and stuff like that. But yeah, so now I have a good set of eyes. Just gonna define his hat a little bit. And here we go. Got his eyes. Now we'll have a mouth. We'll do kind of like what I did on that monster. It's always important, if you're not feeling something right away, you know, sketch it out lightly so you can come back in and change it. So here, drawing out my character, you know, got a good feel for what he looks like, you know, depending on the situation. And you could stop here. This is, you know, basically all you need. I've created a character, you know, I've come up with some ideas of what I want him to look like, you know, on a regular basis, and what he's gonna, you know, always look like, what he's always gonna have. But what I like to do is, once I've sketched him out in pencil, I like to give it a bit of a refined look. Like, I could color this in if I wanted to, and it would be a perfectly fine little drawing. Of course, it's a little small, but, you know, that doesn't really matter when you're sketching out these people. I like to keep it small because then you can go through and do a lot of them really quickly, so you can get a good, like, solid feel for the character. So what I do, once I've sketched it out in pencil, what I want all of his features in this particular picture to look like, I will come in with my fine tip. I don't know how many millimeters this is. It's a extra fine tip brush. Just a Sharpie paint marker. I like the paint markers a lot for drawing. And then I'll just go through and kind of outline them. It's a little hard to do because I'm off the side of the camera, but you guys will get the general idea. Okay guys, so now I have the rough outline of my character here. Another thing that I don't like to do before, like, while I'm in the process of kind of creating them and getting a good feel for the characters, is I don't really like to name them right away. You know, if you're gonna keep it like this character, I'm gonna keep this character. I'm gonna be using him a lot now because I really like, you know, his style. I don't like to name them right away because when you give something a name right off the bat, it kind of confines you, and you know you have this idea of, you know, how they're supposed to act all the time. But when you keep them just kind of nameless and like they're not, you can just change them as much as you want, you know, have fun with it. So I don't like to name them right away, but you can if you're going to keep them for a while. Once I've gone through the process of outlining it kind of in the fine tip sort of, you can see here, once it's dry, because this paint does take a second to dry, but you'll be able to notice that it turns to a matte finish and it won't bleed at all. I take my erasing putty and I just kind of go through and get rid of all the pencil lines as best I can. It doesn't matter a whole lot because these are just quick little sketches. But I'll go through here, and the nice thing about these paint markers is you can run an eraser right over the top of them, and as long as they're dry, it won't smudge the paint at all. So you can see here now I've gotten rid of the majority of the lines. There's still some there, but it doesn't really matter. And then to finish it off for me, my little characters, I just go through with this thicker. This is another paint marker, and this is the medium point. And I'll just go through on the outside line and give it a nice thick outline. Yeah guys, that's pretty much it for my character design process. You can see now I've created a quick sketch of a fun little character. And the nice thing about using something little like sticky notes is I've sat down here for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and I've created him in so many different like little forms, I've gotten a decent feel for what I want him to look like on a fairly constant basis. But yeah guys, that's about it for today's tutorial. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. As always, comment down below for tutorial suggestions for next week. And yeah guys, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys soon.